I don't think magiging patas itong investigasyon na ito dahil kung nakita nyo naman yung mensahe ng Pangulo na sinabi niya na ganitong kriminal, you are in aid of legislation and you want to legislate about confidential funds. You cannot target one office and terrorize and torment the employees of that office. What you do is you...
Tunay na balita, walang kinakampiyan, sumasalamin sa katotohanan lamang.
Hoy, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Today is December 11, araw ng Wednesday at patuloy pa rin tayo sa pagmamasid at pagpahayag ng ating dito sa ating programa. Maraming salamat nga pala sa mga patuloy na sumusuporta syempre dito lang sa Joe Malone TV. Tunay na balita, walang kinakampiyan, sumasalamin sa katotohanan lamang. Alright? Maraming salamat sa pagkikinig at shoutout sa lahat ng mga viewers natin abroad, yung mga solid Iskonians natin, pati na rin yung mga solid Duterte natin dyan. Siyempre, yung suporta nyo, napaka-solid mga kayon. Lalo na yung mga nandirito sa Pilipinas, siyempre, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, hindi kayo echapuera sa Joe Malone TV. Mas marami lang talagang halo yung nanonood sa akin. Merong ibang, siguro majority sa abroad, yung mga OFW natin, ng mga solid Duterte. Pero siyempre, shout out yung mga nandirito, yung mga sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, sa mga Pilipinas, sa mga Pilipinas, sa Pilipinas, syempre, shoutout sa inyong lahat dyan. Hindi ko na kayo maisa-isa kasi sobrang dami, grabe. At ako'y patuloy na nagpapasalamat sa inyo dahil sumusuporta kayo. Bagamat wala namang bayad to, yung panonood nyo sa akin, yung pagsuporta nyo, yung pag-subscribe nyo, yung pag-like and share nyo, at hindi nyo pag-skip ng ads, wala namang bayad dyan, pero napakalaking bagay niyan para sa aming mga content creator at mga vlogger, no? So we do reaction video and minsan makikita nyo rin yung mga upload natin. Meron tayo, nasa grounds tayo, nasa field tayo dahil gusto ko halo no? Beside dun sa studio na naggagawa tayo ng reaction video tulad nito, meron din tayo sa field na sa ganun, makita natin o marinig, makuha yung mga sitwasyon o yung realidad doon sa ground o doon sa field. Kaya maraming salamat sa pagsuporta nyo. Siyempre, shoutout sa lahat ng mga major sponsors natin nandyan sa ibabaw. Yan yung mga talagang tumutulong, no? Tumutulong sa atin, lalong-lalo na pagka medyo kinakapos tayo ng bahay. Okay, at attendance check tayo, gaya ng laging ginagawa natin. Pero this time, gusto ko by color. Ayan. Attendance check. Pakilagay dyan sa comment section kung saan kayo lupalop naroroon at nanonood sa Joe Malone TV. Let's say, watching from Canada, watching from Japan, Hong Kong, Bulacan, Cebu, Mindanao, Davao, Oriente. Grabe, may Athens pa no? May watching from Athens pa. Tapos pa-comment dyan sa baba, alam niyo yung mga heart na emoticons, di ba? Di ba, dalaw kasi sinusuportahan natin si Isko Moreno, which is yung blue na heart. Tapos syempre si Sara Inday Duterte na yung green yung heart. O, paki-comment dyan kung anong kulay ng heart nyo. I mean, kung both, kung dalawa, pwede. O kung isa lang, di ba? O kung mga kalaban ka, mga timbali sausaw, mag ka dyan na itim na heart. Bias no? Syempre, dito sa programa natin, syempre, alam mo na, green heart lang tayo at saka blue heart, syempre. Etong mukhang to, para kay Isko Moreno lang at sa para kay Inday Sara Duterte. Yan ang mga sinusuporta natin. Kung madadagdagan man, let's see. Pwede, di ba? Pero aalamin muna natin maigi dahil ayoko mag-promote ng mga tiwaling mga politiko. Anyway, eto kanina lang, no? December 11 today, Wednesday. Kanina lang etong press conference ni Inday Sara Duterte sa kanyang opisina. Pero meron kasi atang investigation siya ngayon na hindi niya dinaluhan. Pero ito ang sinabi ni Jaime o yung Santiago ay yung NBI director kanina lang to via SMNI. Thank you ba SMNI. Ang sabi rito ni Jaime Santiago, yung NBI director, the Vice President showed courtesy by sending her counsel talking to us. At may letter na ganun, no? Enough na sa akin yun. Hindi na ako masyadong feel na parang binaliwala o nagpawalang bahala. Ito yung sabi niya, Vice President showed courtesy sa NBI. Kasi parang nakita ko na to kanina So parang may Thanksgiving party ata sila Inday Sara. Kasi ang sinabi pa nga sa interview ni Jaime Santiago, sa kanya, sinabi niya na kung ang idadahilan lang ni BP Sara na hindi siya makaka-attend kasi meron silang Thanksgiving party, parang hindi yata ano sa kanya yon. Parang hindi okay, parang hindi justifiable. Yun ang sinabi niya sa interview ng mga media. Pero since na nagpadala si BP Sara ng legal counsel na nakipag-usap sa kanila at may letter na ganon, affidavit, sabi niya, enough na sa akin yon. Hindi na ako masyadong na-feel na parang nagpawalang bahala. Vice President showed courtesy sa NBI. Tapos, syempre, following that, ewan ko kung ano nauna, pero malamang yun na nauna, ano si Vice President ng press conference sa opisina niya. Ito, panoorin natin. Medyo mahaba-haba to, pero inumit ko na yung mga iilan na tanong ng mga media kasi hindi marinig, walang mic. Si BP Inday Sara lang yung may mic. So, pinili ko na, pero magigets nyo naman yung tanong ng mga mainstream media base doon sa sagot ni BP Sara. Ito, medyo mahaba-haba to pero pagtsagaan natin panoorin kasi ito yung pinaka-latest. No? So, pinaka-latest, 2 impeachment pa rin yung nakahain. So, suma total, mukhang hindi na abutin this year kaya parang ipupush through nila next year. No, anyway, sa nakikita ko nito, ang nakikita ni BP Sara na ang sinabi niya ito parang ang highlights nito, hindi siya pupunta ng ibang bansa at magtatago. At lalaban tayo mga ka-Duterte natin. Talagang ito sinasabi ni BP Sara na political attack. Kasi nga, being Vice President, ang sunod mo niyan presidente na eh. 'Di ba? Ang presidente naman, hindi naman siya makakatakbo ng presidente ulit. So, common knowledge, technically, ang Vice President, usually, gano'n naman di ba? Laderize, di ba? Ang tatakbo sa pagkapangulo sa susunod na election, which is sa 2028. Kaya ito daw, malinaw na political attack at hindi magkakaroon ng patas, according to her, according to our BP Inday Sara. So, let's watch it mga kayon at medyo mahaba-haba to pero be patient at pakinggan lang natin, alright?
Yes, ma'am. The lawyers presented me with options and I asked them if I needed to go to the NBI for the subpoena. And then they said that I have options not to go. I can send a letter, I can send a position paper, I can send an affidavit. And so we decided that a letter will be sent to the NBI. And then with regard to patas, I don't think magiging patas itong investigasyon na ito dahil kung nakita nyo naman yung mensahe ng Pangulo na sinabi niya na ganitong kriminal na mga, sorry hindi ko maalala yung exact words na sinabi, pero sinabi niya ganitong mga kriminal na ageist. Sinabi niya ganitong mga kriminal na gawain na hindi ko palalampasin. So, makita na natin, no, the pronouncements of the President, meron ng bias doon. And kung nakita nyo rin yung interview ng isang USEC ng Department of Justice, sinabi niya, a threat is a threat. Well, if you're a lawyer, you would argue na no, there's several kinds of threats. But nakita nyo na doon pa lang sinabi na niya kung ano yung position niya. At as a USEC of DOJ, we expect that that is the position of the Department of Justice. So kahit pa man pumunta ako doon, hindi ako pumunta doon, we believe, and I believe, that we, meaning the lawyers and I, believe that cases will be filed. So kahit pang sabihin nila na merong investigasyon, sa simula pa lang, nagdesisyon na sila na mag-file sila ng cases. Okay. Ang worst case scenario, thank you, Ma'am Sel. Ang worst case scenario na nakikita namin is removal from office, impeachment, and then patong-patong na mga kaso, multiple cases to be filed, which the lawyers already told me to expect as well. That is why I just decided not to go to the NBI because clearly the pronouncements of the President and the USEC of DOJ point to cases to be filed.
So, pero parang may nag-raise before that it could be like a violation dun sa anti-terrorism law and plunder, which are non-bailable offenses. So, could that be part of the worst case scenario na hindi kayo i-arrest kayo just in case and no bail?
Yes, that could be as well. That is a possibility, ma'am, for cases that are without bail. And as I said, when I read the subpoena, I read there, it was for grave threats. na hindi naman grade threats yung ginawa ko under the revised penal code, and it was for anti-terror law. So napaisip ako, bakit anti-terror law ang iimbestigahan nila? And then, it's not the first time that I've heard of the anti-terror law used against a person. So the first time I read about it, they used it against Congressman Arnie Tevez. So I inquired about what happened in Negros. So I was told, yun nga, there was a red notice, there was a AMLAC, freezing of assets, money, there was, well, a warrant of arrest, yes. And very recently, I read again the law, and then I found there that there is a provision there, removal from office. So on that point, it's still kumbaga an avenue, I think, that they're pursuing to remove me from office.
The office, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. So, very recently, we had a meeting with the lawyers, and what was discussed there was the arrangements, because we needed more lawyers. We are expecting another impeachment case now, so this may be 3 impeachment cases. So, and then we will await official copy of the articles of impeachment, so that they can prepare the defense. We already have advanced copies of what is filed in the House of Representatives, and they're starting preparatory works right now.
Ma'am, most of your allies, former allies, have changed positions or changed, their sides. How do you feel right now? And if, for example, the impeachment comes through, are you confident with the numbers going to Congress?
No, we're not confident with numbers, ma'am, because impeachment is a legal process and a political activity. So we are confident with the legal aspect of the impeachment, because all the lawyers that I asked to review the initial drafts of the impeachment complaint really said that this is not, they would say it's not an impeachable offense, and this is not an actionable offense, things like that, lawyer talk. But with regard to politics, that is a different matter altogether. So we do not know what will happen with that.
Feel that they change sides. How is their moment?
Well, that's politics. They always say that there are no permanent friends and enemies in politics. So it really depends on the person, no, on the politician, what path he will choose.
Related to the worst case scenarios.
Yes.
The House of Government Committee said that they are eyeing the possibility of filing plunder, technical malversation, and falsification charges, among others, against you and several other officials of the OVP and formerly the DepEd in relation to the alleged misuse of the confidential funds. Have you discussed this already with your legal team, with any of the lawyers, and what can you say that is a very heavy case, plunder?
Yes. We have an inventory of possible cases to be filed, because right now it's only the 2 impeachment cases that are filed with the House of Representatives. All the other cases, we have a list, we have an inventory, and we have lawyers assigned for each case. Usually cases that are similar, we assign it to one lawyer. And then other cases, we assigned it to other lawyers, so that we ensure that all the cases have lawyers focused on each case.
Rinig sabihin po from Honorable Philippines. Ma'am, na-consult niyo na ba yung family niya about this? Dahil kanina nabanggit niya kung sa mga lawyers about sa family. Si PRRD, nakausap na po ba ninyo? And ano yung payo mo sa inyo?
Hindi pa kami nag-kausap ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. I expect na magkikita kami as usual sa December 24 sa bahay ng mother ko. Likely, baka doon namin mapag-usapan yan. Kung man mapag-usapan namin, dahil madalas kasi kapag nagkasama-sama yung pamilya, lalo na pag nandyan yung mga apo, ay yung mga apo yung pinag-uusapan ng pamilya. Nagsabi si Pangulong Duterte na magpapadala siya ng pera para sa pambayad daw ng mga abogado, kasi alam niya na napakaraming mga abogado ngayon
Dami yun.
ang kinuha para sa iba't ibang mga kaso. Pero nagsabi na rin ako through my brother, kasi yung kuya ko yung sinabihan niya. Nagsabi ako na huwag na lang siya magpadala ng pera dahil nakapaghanda naman na kami para sa impeachment case. Kasi yung sinabi niya impeachment case, sir. So sabi ko, nakapaghanda kami sa impeachment case. Kasi nga, last year, nag-announce na si Franz Castro ng impeachment. So the moment na sinabi yon, and the moment na nakita namin na tuloy-tuloy yung attacks against me, ay naganda na rin kami para sa mga abogado.
Hi, ma'am. Mara Acevedo from Space Time Singapore. Ma'am, you already mentioned that your lawyers are prepared to answer the impeachment cases, but the opposition groups who are filed the complaints against you are accusing you of being evasive in your answers in the alleged corruption and misuse of millions of confidential funds.
Ma'am, baka you can offer an explanation also to taxpayers. How, kung above board po pa talaga yung paggamit nitong mga confidential funds para matapos na rin ma'am yung question once and for all.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not being evasive. If you are referring to the to the budget hearing and the hearings in the House of Representatives, I'm not being evasive. I am not answering the questions because they have no authority to ask confidential questions. I am answering questions about the use of the money in the Commission on Audit, and there is no, you ask the Commission on Audit if there was anything at all that they can say or see that we are not cooperative with the audit. So it is wrong to say that I am evasive. I am definitely not answering questions about the use of the fund, about confidential funds, because it pertains to national security and the lives of the people involved in intelligence operations.
Yes.
And yes, as I said, we have fully cooperated with the audit process of the Commission on Audit, who has the sole jurisdiction to ask questions about the use of confidential funds. In fact, two
Malinaw.
quarters of the Department of Education are already cleared by the Commission on Audit, but it is still being questioned inside the committee in the House of Representatives. So that is the reason why I am not answering questions from the House of Representatives. Plus the fact that, as I said, it is an attack. It is a political attack. If you are in aid of legislation and you want to legislate about confidential funds, you cannot target one office and terrorize and torment the employees of that office. What you do is you do a sampling, a random sampling of the offices who have confidential funds. Why not call the office of the president who has billions and billions of confidential funds if you want to legislate about confidential funds? So that shows that they're singling out the office of the vice president, and I really feel that it's very disrespectful to the office of the vice president. That is also why when they ask that I respect their process, respect begets respect. So if they want respect, they should first respect the office of the vice president. That is
Yes.
what I was saying, that they don't like me, they don't like my portion, they don't like Inday Sara Duterte, but they have to respect the office of the vice president. So
Exactly.
if they want to investigate confidential funds, they don't single out one office.
I understand, ma'am. VP, just a follow-up. As it yesterday or the other day, the House also alleges that over 400 names na nag-sign on acknowledgement receipts, again, on the issue of the confidential funds, wala daw po records at the BSA. Ma'am, you can offer an explanation because we know that this is a legal proceeding, pero pinag-uusapan po siya ngayon, ma'am, sa bahay ng bawat VP. Kaya explanation if this is above board or bakit wala silang birth certificate.
No, I will not explain. I will not give an explanation because it will entail that I explain intelligence operations, which will compromise officers who do intelligence operations. It will really compromise how they work. So no explanation will be given to the members of the House of Representatives.
One final follow-up for me, ma'am. Then what's your response to accusations that an office like the DepEd and the OVP have no jurisdiction naman to have these confidential funds that are spent for national security?
Well, the confidential funds was the first transfer of confidential funds was from the contingent funds to the office of the vice president, and this was approved by the office of the president. The next year confidential funds was 2023. We submitted it to the Department of Budget and Management. It was approved by the Department of Budget and Management, and therefore it implies that it was approved by the office of the president because it was included in the National Expenditure Program, the NEP. So, and then it was approved by Congress as well. The only reason why we did not use the confidential funds in the fourth quarter for both offices because I was already flagged by a friend inside the House of Representatives that they will attack you using confidential funds. So yes, it was duly approved by the Office of the President and both houses of Congress as well, as because it was included in the General Appropriations Act. So it was not, we presented it, we defended it, they approved it, we used it, and then the question on utilization is under the Commission on Audit. That is how the system works. They cannot use or they cannot twist the system according to their personal interests. Really, all these circumstances and events happening surrounding the office of the Vice President is a race to the presidential election in 2028.
Correct.
Unfortunately, they are attacking the office as well. So, dyan ako medyo, and the personnel of the office of the Vice President. So, dyan ako medyo pumapalag. Wala namang problema kung atakihin ninyo ako. Kasi politiko naman talaga ako. Pero may problema ako pag inatake yung opisina at yung mga kasamahan ko dito sa opisina ng pangalawang Pangulo na nagtatrabaho lang.
Tama.
Yeah, good afternoon, Madam. Good afternoon, Madam Vice President. I'm just going to pick up on Mara's line of questioning. You said, and I understand your explanation about these confidential funds haven't been approved by several layers in the government. But maybe just to go back to the basics, if you can explain to ordinary Filipinos why the Office of the Vice President needs confidential intelligence funds.
Okay. Yes. For the Office of the Vice President, it's not the first time that the office was granted confidential funds. During the time of Vice President Binay, the office was already given confidential funds. The confidential funds we use in relation to our work and national security. All the projects and the programs of the Office of the Vice President target poverty alleviation. There is a direct correlation between poverty and national security. So what we do is we want to target the areas where we put our projects so that we achieve, peace and order, security. So we don't want our projects put in areas where it is not needed for poverty alleviation. So we want to prioritize the areas. And the only way to do that is to use confidential funds to purchase information. So where are the target areas? We need that so that our projects will serve these areas. So that's why we needed the confidential funds. In the Department of Education, there is a correlation as well of the education and national security. In fact, that is one of there is a correlation as well of education and national security. There are so many threats to education, not just insurgency, and threats to the Department of Education personnel and students as well. And we wanted to target projects of the Department of Education as well in the most vulnerable areas and schools. That is why we needed confidential funds. It's all about national security. And the position of the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education is that national security is a holistic concept. It's not just one, like territorial defense, sovereignty. No, national security is about food security. It's about quality of education. It's about poverty alleviation and everything else that we need to do as a country to get us out of this poverty rut.
But you are in the NTF-LCAP, so couldn't have your offices work with the NTF-LCAP as well as other government agencies that actually have national security mandates?
In the NTF-LCAP, they are only about ano yung ng LCAP? And local armed conflict. And local, LCAP. So that is very specific to that local conflict and communism. So, as I said, the projects and the programs of OVP target poverty alleviation, and there's so many factors affecting poverty, and there are so many threats to education, not just insurgency.
But there are also other government agencies with national security mandates that you can work with, your offices can work with.
Yes, that is true, but we work far faster if we are allowed to purchase information and target our projects immediately on the certain school or certain barangay or certain municipality. We move faster if we can target our projects.
Okay. Going back to the confidential funds, I put that was also about confidential funds, but the names they're being verified by the Philippine Statistics Authority. I know you said that you can't explain because they're confidential in nature, but maybe just a yes or no, because other names have cropped up aside from Mary Grace Diablos. We have Chippy McDonald, Fernando Tempora, Carlos Oishi, Raymunda Nova. These were mentioned in a column at the Philippine Star, and Joel Chua, Congressman Joel Chua was quoted. Are yes or no, are these code names?
Nakalimutan ko yung sagot ko. Sandali. I cannot explain confidential funds because it will entail explaining intelligence operations. And there is a law that prohibits officials who gathered information because of their office to divulge it in public. So it's the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. There is a specific provision of law. You cannot divulge confidential information that you received while in office.
So you won't even say these are
No, that's because
code names.
that will add to cases that may be filed against me.
One last, sorry.
Yes.
Why the choice of a letter submitted to the NBI instead of an affidavit?
Wait, hold on. I can answer. I can give you a very short answer with regard to ARs. I have nothing to do with the preparation of ARs. It went down to the grassroots level. So I had nothing to do with preparations of ARs. I was up here in the structure and money went down for information.
So you have no knowledge why all these things were used in the acknowledgement receipts?
In the first place, we do not even know if these are ARs which came from DepEd or OVP to COA because there's a chain of evidence supposedly.
Acknowledgement
There's a
receipt.
chain of evidence, handling of evidence. So right now, nobody can really answer that because nobody knows if these ARs are true.
Yes,
Because
tama.
we don't know if it came from us.
That's what they're alleging.
Yes, that's what they're
The name
saying.
of the OVP submitted to COA.
Yes, but there is a legal process in the custody of evidence. So right now, we really cannot say if the ARs came from us because the ARs that are with us has not been checked with the ARs that are with them.
You're denying that the ARs came
No, I'm just saying that we do not even know if the ARs with us are the ARs that are with them because the ARs from the field, going to the office, going to COA, that's not how you do legal work. It's not how you do legal work. There's a very stringent process in evidence. That is why even if there is no law prohibiting a person from divulging confidential information, person cannot answer that because we do not know if that paper that they're holding was a paper that came from the OVP in DepEd. Because there was no marking of exhibits. That was what I was telling Congressman Chua. You cannot ask the OVP personnel to say yes or no to an exhibit that was not marked as real and true, as correct, and as a faithful reproduction of the evidence of the office.
So would your offices then be willing to certify?
No, because there is no question about that. From the Commission on Audit, it's only a congressman saying that this paper and asking what is this paper about. There is no case. And that is to ask that about the paper is the sole jurisdiction of the Commission on Audit.
Audit.
So then if the Commission on Audit asks,
That is what I was saying. We have been fully cooperative with the Commission on Audit.
Galing. Nala.
Everything that they asked for, we submitted. That is why there was a partial disallowance only. And even then, we are not yet finished with the process because we can still submit documents that are required by the Commission on Audit. That is the problem right now. As I said, they are doing work that they are not that is not under the mandate of the House of Representatives. They cannot audit. They cannot question at all. They cannot make me answer and say that we represent the taxpayers and you have to answer. No, I will only answer to the Commission on Audit because that is the body who can ask us questions about the fund use.
Next question. Katuloy ko, Amy, Rivera.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, on the issue of your budget not being reinstated or restored, your reaction first on the decision of the bicameral conference committee?
Well, we do not expect anything about the budget of the Office of the Vice President anymore. As I said, before I was saying that I am not the problem. I've been saying that I am not the problem. The problem of the Philippines is kahirapan, kagutuman, corruption, and all the
Corruption.
other peace and order issues. But it is clear right now that they consider me as the problem already. So I will not help them solve the problem.
Ma'am, a follow-up question. It's nearly January already. Your office will be filing a new budget request for 2026. How much do you intend to ask from Congress for 2026?
We've not discussed that. We need to wait for the budget call because the budget call outlines the rules of your proposal for budget for your office. So we need to read the budget call before we can sit down and discuss a budget proposal for the Office of the Vice President.
Ma'am, but top of mind, are you still considering to hike the 733 million, or will you be happy operating on the same expenses in 2026?
I cannot answer that because there are rules. They usually put conditions in the budget call, and we really need to read the budget call to draft a proposed budget.
That's the question.
Just to follow up on the budget, in the previous interviews, you said that you cannot give a definite answer on what will happen with regards to your satellite offices, given that the budget was not final at that time. But given that the BICAM already decided not to reinstate your original proposal of 2 billion, what will happen to your satellite offices? There are around, I think, 10 satellite offices across the country.
Yes. Well, we have to see if we can continue with the projects that they are implementing. We need to see if the projects are still there, and then if they can still implement the projects. So that is something that we have to discuss with the execom of the Office of the Vice President.
Nandun po ba yung possibility of shutdown? And then ano po yung nasabihan na po ba yung mga affected personnel just in case na mag-shutdown nga ng mga satellite offices?
Galing sa central office ng Office of the Vice President, wala kaming sinabi sa kanila. Pero since nababasa naman nila sa media yung nangyayari sa budget, I am sure that they are preparing themselves as well.
Ang galing, no? Nag-gets na natin. Medyo nag-gets ko na, no? Sinabi ni VP Sara na parang ito yung magandang although narinig ko na to kay Attorney Panelo na parang ito yung pinakamagandang sa sinabi ni VP Sara na explanation kung bakit niya hindi sinasagot yung House of Representative kasi hindi naman sila COA o Commission on Audit. Sinabi dito ni VP Sara na nakikipag-cooperate. They are actually very well cooperative sa COA. Sabi nga niya, kahit itanong niya sa COA pero hindi niya sasagutin yung mga tanong ng House of, hindi niya tatanong yung, hindi niya sasagutin yung mga taga House of Representatives kasi hindi naman nila jurisdiction yun. Yung pagtanong about sa confidential funds. Yun yung pinakamalinaw na narinig ko, na naiintindihan ko na. Kaya ako nasabing parang nagigets ko na. Kasi, parang parang naduduktong ko na yung mga puzzle. At naiintindihan ko na nga finally na ngayon na talaga itong sinabi ni VP Sara, yung explanation niya. Ang galing. Sa kanya sinasabi niya na, ewan ko kung napanood nyo to na sa unang, hindi ko alam kung, pero press conference din to ni VP Sara. Sinabi niya na, noong una pa lang, na tinatanong yung mga tao, yung mga personnel ng OBP. Tapos ang gusto nila parang yes or no lang yung sagot. Kasi parang nagpi-fishing yung mga timbalisaw-saw para makakuha ng ebidensya na pwedeng i-kaso nila kay VP Sara, which is yung impeachment. Kaya parang hindi sinasabi ni VP Sara na hindi pwedeng sumagot na by yes or no lang kasi they are gaya nito yung acknowledgement receipt o yung AR na sinasabi ni VP Sara na hindi nga nila alam na kung galing talaga sa office ng Vice President o sa DepEd o kung saan galing kasi nga AR lang. Diba? Tataka naman ako, bakit AR lang? Acknowledgement receipt. Napaka-plain lang yun. Parang kahit sino ata, pwedeng gumawa ng AR. Nabibili nga niya sa Recto, yung AR diba? So parang ang sinasabi ni VP Sara na kailangan masusing investigasyon kung talagang sa kanila nga galing yung AR o kung saan sa galing o pwedeng invento. Tama nga naman, kaya nag-gets ko Nag-gets ko na. Talagang ang galing. Ang galing. Ngayon ko napatunayan na talagang lahat ng sinasabi ni VP Sara na sa mga press conference niya, napagduduktong-duktong ko na. Ang galing, no? Pagka ano nga talaga, yung totoo talaga lumalabas, no? Talagang maiintindihan mo na nasa, sa huli, pag nagpapasel na siya sa'yo, na nabubuo mo na yung bigger picture, marirealize mo na tama nga. Di ba? Ang galing, ang galing. Kayo mga kayo, ito maganda. Tulungan niyo ako rito. Gusto kong marinig sa inyo naman via comment section kung ano yung stand nyo, no? Kung ano yung pagkakaintindi nyo dito. Well, obviously, syempre, political attack, no? Kasi nga, in the first place nga daw, according to BP Sara, na talagang politically attack kasi talagang merong mga gustong siyang patigilin kasi siya yung tinik na sa presidential sa 2028 kasi automatically o logically speaking na lahat ng mga vice president ang susunod na tatakbuhin niya, syempre, president kasi nga ladder race yan. So, siya yung parang nakaharang doon sa tinik. Siya yung tinik na nakaharang kaya ang gusto nito mga kalaban na to i-impeach siya. O sabi nga ni BP Sara dito na worst case scenario yung removal niya from office, no. Pero syempre naka-backup plan 'yan. Pero syempre hindi papayag yung mga taga-suporta ng DDS, malamang rally 'yan. Pagka yan nangyari, nako. Yan ang hindi ko masasabi pero malamang rally tres 'yan. Malamang magagalit ang mga suporta ni DDS diyan. Mga solid na suporta ni DDS. Malamang magkikita-kita tayo sa EDSA nito. At doon tayo talaga papatunayan na talagang bakit na isolated case lang, bakit yung Office of the Vice President lang yung pilit na hinahalongkat yung about sa confidential fund. Where in fact na ang dami naman mga ahensya dyan na talagang meron din confidential at intelligence fund. So yun, paki-comment dyan sa baba kung ano yung mga kuro-kuro nyo, yung mga opinion. Pero definitely, syempre, lalaban tayo, walang susuko, susuportahan at poprotektahan natin, syempre, ang ating VP na si Sara Duterte. Joe Malone TV po, maraming salamat sa panonood nyo dito sa ating programa. At sana wag kayong magsawang manood sa Joe Malone TV. Like and share nyo naman itong video natin. At para sa mga bagong pasok dito, syempre, subscribe na kayo at click nyo na yung notification bell. Maraming salamat. Don't forget to comment green heart to show support to our VP, Sara Inday Duterte. Maraming salamat. Tunay na balita, walang kinakampiyan, sumasalamin sa katotohanan lamang.